BLO suspects anything, Malaj, I have the Aadhaar card. If he has any evidence, he has to put it to me. That what is that evidence with him to show that I was not born on such and such day?
Suppose they include from a different country, from neighboring countries, they come to India. When they are working in India, they are staying in India, somebody working, poor fellow as a rickshaw puller, somebody working as a laborer on a construction site, if you issue an Aadhaar card to him, that you so that you avail the benefit of a subsidized ration for the children or for any benefit, that's something a part of our constitutional ethos. That is our constitutional morality that we must provide. But it doesn't mean that because he has been given this benefit, he must now be made a voter also.
True, Malaj. I don't dispute that. Section 8, Malaj, page 2. Subject to, as aforesaid, a person who is a woman shall also be qualified to be included in the electoral roll for any territorial constituency if she is the pensioned widow or the pensioned mother of a person who was an officer, non-commissioned officer or soldier of His Majesty's regular service. All other women out. If her husband possesses the qualifications requisite for the purpose of this paragraph, the husband shall be deemed to possess the qualifications requisite for the purposes of the last preceding paragraph if he is either was assessed in the previous financial year to income tax. These kind of conditions you can give your passport. This is not some elitist exercise that is being done. Or is a retired, pensioned or discharged officer, non-commissioned officer or soldier of His Majesty's. And this goes on and on. It's all in respect of tax-paying people. And see, Malaj, see at the beginning, section 6, subject as aforesaid, just the previous page. Subject as aforesaid, a person shall also be qualified to be included in the electoral roll for any territorial constituency if he is proved in the prescribed manner to be literate. Don't you think, Malaj, there are millions of illiterate persons in this country? There are women who do not know how to read and write, and they are asked to fill an enumeration form. And if you don't fulfill the enumeration form, your name will be cancelled. What kind of exercise is that? These are the real constitutional issues, with the greatest respect, that your lordships have to decide. Forget the procedure for the moment. Then what happened? In 1929, Malaj, there was this resolution of Purn Swaraj. That was the resolution of 1929. And on January 26, why we celebrate Republic Day, Purn Swaraj was declared on January 26, 1930. And we celebrate that as independence. The Purn Swaraj for what? Of inclusion, of universal suffrage, of no conditions. You want to delete my name, delete it, but for reason. Then the 31 Karachi resolution, passed under the presidency of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, said, quote, the franchise shall be on the basis of universal adult suffrage. I'll give this to your lordship. And then from September to December 1931, the Roundtable Conference took place and the Government of India Act came into force in 1935, which I've just handed over to your lordship. So the first point I want to make is the whole exercise of any commission post-independence must not be an exclusionary exercise. Otherwise, it will be unconstitutional. That's the first point I wish to make. Now, Malaj, what's the second point? Your lordships rightly said to us, Malaj, and that's part of the Aadhaar Act itself, that the fact that you have an Aadhaar card doesn't mean that you're a citizen of India. Absolutely right. Now, Malaj, there are three conditions on the basis of which I can vote. One, that I am a citizen of India. Two, that I am a resident of the place. And three, Malaj, as set out in section 50 of the Act. Section 16 of the Act. No, sorry. That I'm not less than 18 years of age. So I must be more than 18. I must be an ordinary resident. I must be a citizen of India. Right, Malaj? Now, that I am resident and that I am more than 18 will be reflected in my electoral roll, previous electoral roll. Unless I have changed residence. And when I change residence, a Form 8 has to be filed. And the person who says that I have changed residence, Mullahs, will have to prove. There's a process for that. Then only my name would be excluded. So an exclusionary process, an exclusion of a name must follow a process. That's my second submission. Then any attempt to exclude me must be followed by a process which is reasonable and fair. Now, now the third issue is the citizenship. Now, under Form 5, for Form 6 and Form 7, a self-declaration is accepted as proof of citizenship. A self-declaration, because it's by nature inclusionary. Now, just show you Form 6 and 7. Just see the Representation of People's Act. Document for proof of date of birth. Any one of these. Fellowships has that.
Form 7.
Form 6.
Form 6.
This is an application for new voters. I'm trying to show, Mullahs, the nature of the exercise must be inclusionary, not exclusionary. And if you look at Form 6, which is when a new voter is to be included, then he is to give his date of birth issued by a competent local body. Lakhs and lakhs of people will not have that. And 2, Aadhaar card. So an Aadhaar card is proof of date of birth, not citizenship. So that's not an issue. That's under 16. That's proven that I was born on such day. Now, then self-attested copy of address, which is item B there, 8B. Proof either in the name of the applicant or any of the parents, is if already enrolled as elector at the same address. Again, water, electricity, gas connection for that address, at least 1 year, Aadhaar card. That's proof of ordinarily residence. Then any other document of proof of residence, let's not deal with any of that. Now see the declaration. I hereby declare that to the best of my knowledge and belief, I am a citizen of India. That's enough. And my place of birth is there. In any case, in the Aadhaar card, and residence is there. So, Mullahs, all this is self-declaration. Now, let's assume you want to deny me. I am not resident of that area. Form 8 comes in. And the person who says that I'm not a resident.
Declaration is quite comprehensive.
Yes.
Suppose first, if you are a citizen, and then you will disclose your place of birth and some details.
Yes, yes.
But just see, Mr. Sibal,
yes.
If you don't have any proof or anything, still you have to make a declaration.
Yes, correct. Absolutely. That Form 6 has to be, for a new elector, he has to file Form 6, not an enumeration form. And that has to be, how is it to be done? The BLO has to go to his house. Mullahs, under the law, the burden can never be on the elector for documentation. That's how a special revision is done. It's a house-to-house visit by the BLO, which will come to the next stage as to how this whole process is exclusionary and unreasonable. Well, let's.
So probably your argument is that once your name is there in the
electoral
roll,
yes,
then there is a presumption that you are a citizen and you are a valid electorate. And then ownerships on the other party, if they want to prove that no, you have been wrongly included in the list,
yes,
then ownerships on them.
And then the process is followed to take my right away. No doubt, Mullahs, that process is set out. And none of that process is followed. None of that is followed, Mullahs. And this whole process of getting this data can never, for no earthly reason, can be completed in 2 months. There is no way. No way that it can be completed in 2 months. And why at all should this be done? Now, Malad, just see Form 7 in the light of what I just, my submission now, Malad. Form 7.
But if can we really stall certain thing on the premise that it cannot be done so easily within a particular period of time? Because if at all, if suppose the law or the constitutional scheme permits to initiate a process, then maybe that some an authority has a very bright line mind, when too optimistic, they say in 2 months,
Yeah.
and actually it may take 4 months. So one issue of extension of time is something different. Annulling that process only on the ground that you can't do it in 2 months is altogether different.
Yes.
So where the argument, if at all it is there that it is humanly not possible within a period,
2 months.
then
Yes.
that chance will have to be given to them that can you do it or you require
No,
more
Malad,
time.
you'll never know. Malad, this court will never know because we are dealing with facts that your lordships will not be aware of. Supposing they say, I've done it.
20 people.
That's why, supposing they say, I've done it. Malad, how will your lordships know whether they have done it properly or not?
No, somebody, the agreed person will come. There is
But the election will be over.
no. That a person whose name is excluded from the voter list,
Yeah.
he will have a right to file a statutory appeal. He can go even to the commission, then he can come to the court of law, and at least some instance will come before us. Because why we are saying, Mr. Sibal, we experience a very strange kind of thing in Bihar. We every day we kept on telling, directing. Ultimately, we sent our own legal, paralegal volunteers, and at least we would like to trust them. Our executive chairman, legal service authority, sent a report that paralegal volunteers have been able to persuade or to reach out to so many people. A few thousand people were there.
Sure.
Now nobody come forward to say that why I have been excluded.
Well, there are any number of people, Malad. Any number of people. Maybe you're not even aware, Malad. Malad, please see the reality of my country and our country. See the reality of our country. You think in the far removed areas of West Bengal or in Bihar or in other areas, Malad, the people, the women there on the farms will know how to fill an enumeration form?
But they can at least, they will go to some forum, Mr. Sibal, to say.
Malad, they don't know forums. Malad, please appreciate, even lawyers, unfortunately, are not aware of procedures. Forget about Malad, ordinary citizens of this country.
No, lawyers are there, free legal aid volunteers are there, and
Malad, you can't have so many volunteers for lakhs and lakhs of electors. It's impossible. Crores of electors. How will you? When many of them went to vote on the polling day and they say their name is deleted, where do you go from there? And who wants to bother then? Malad, please appreciate the psyche of a person. Now they're going to carry on another procedure. Say, chalo, mera naam kat gaya, to kat gaya. What can I do?
Sibal, that you have an experience of contesting election also. The percentage of voting in Luton, Delhi, and a village from 50 kilometers away from here, you will see the marked difference.
There's no doubt about it.
People in the rural area, they celebrate the day of vote.
Correct.
It is taken as a festivity.
Correct.
And they go in groups, there are
I'm not
singing, there are music, there are food served.
Not this question is who is voting for whom and how. I'm sorry, Malad, I have to say this. Yeah, and it's impossible for your lordships to know. Impossible, because Malad, they say we've done everything that is in accordance with the law. We say on the ground they have not done anything. How will your lordships determine?
No, we are only on the point that the voter in the rural area, the voter among the marginalized sections, in the farming community, those in the labor, those who are actually in manual, semi-skilled working conditions, they are more vigilant as compared to the urbanites in terms of the voting pattern.
I don't want to say anything, Malad. Certainly, it's an opinion, Malad. So we've got some different perspective to that. But be that as it may, I'm not Malad. I'm on the constitutional issue. What I'm saying to your lordships is entirely different. That there is a presumption, a self-declaration, I am a citizen, I live here, there's an Aadhaar card that I have, that's my residence. You want to take it away through a process. And that process must be established before your lordships. Right, Malad? Now, there is no doubt, Malaj, that many of the people names were deleted. No doubt about it. We brought to you people who were alive and who were perceived to be dead in the voters list. Now, how did that BLO decide that they were dead? And those who were dead were seen to be alive. How did the BLO decide? So there has to be some explanation. So whoever that BLO wasn't doing his job properly.
Yellow goes, that's the door-to-door survey he makes.
Sorry, Malaj?
Now it is the door-to-door survey, as per the rules, the BLO is required to make.
Correct, Malaj. Now, if
That is why the information comes to the BLO
Correct.
with regard to persons who have shifted or persons who have,
correct. So, Malaj, somebody
dead.
must have given him the information.
there may have been a false information. So it is not that an survey is always 100% correct.
You're absolutely right. I'm not saying that.
That is why the draft electoral roll comes out.
But
And whenever there is an error in the draft roll, someone who has been incorrectly omitted as dead and can always respond.
right, you're
This is the reason, Mr.
Question.
Sibal, we had directed the lists of the dead and the shifted persons to be put up not only on the websites, but also in the panchayats and other.
Malaj, I'm not on that, Your Lordship. We have no grievance with that. Another grievance, Malaj. My grievance is that you have asked the person to fill an enumeration form.
Right.
That's my first grievance, Malaj.
That's the constitutional.
I'm only arguing the constitutional issue.
Requirement of that comes from the right of the election commission under section 23
No, Malaj,
to
with respect.
go into a survey or a revision.
Special, but never done in the past.
Forms of
Malaj,
revision.
never done in the history of this country. This has been never done. In the history of this country.
Thing is, if it is legally sanctioned, whether it is the first time or it is again, there was a history, is not really a relevant
All right. Well,
stone on which constitution.
let me respond to that.
Let us say the election commission decides to go into a special intensive revision as
Correct.
they describe it.
Or
They reposit that power in section 23(3) and also under article 326 of the constitution.
I'll come.
One of the parameters on which they say they require this special intensive revision is there are certain entries which may be of doubtful
right.
integrity.
Right.
And in that spirit,
Yes.
the election commission makes an endeavor.
Yes.
Now, how can we say that there was a complete lack of jurisdiction?
I'll respond to that. I didn't say lack of jurisdiction. No, but the lack of jurisdiction is one aspect of unconstitutional law.
This is so we
That's
don't.
only one
You are
aspect.
not arguing on the lack of jurisdiction.
I'm not arguing.
Because you went
I'm
to a very
saying-
fundamental area that the election commission lacks the power
No, I didn't say.
to seek an inquiry with regard to the credibility of the entries.
I'm on the process. I'm not on the lack of jurisdiction. Melissa. Your lordships put it to me whether 23, they have the power or not. I accept that they do because it's been done in the past. So I can't say that they have no power. What I'm saying is the process that they have adopted is unreasonable both substantially and procedurally.
The next limb of your argument that the process in which the SIR is being implemented across the country is too hasty,
Hasty,
is unreasonable,
unreasonable.
and therefore is in fact taking away the right
That's right. Exclusionary, and therefore exclusionary.
which is vested in a
Electoral.
person entitled to be
That's my
electoral role.
That's my submission. My submission is not that they don't have the power. That's why I started by saying, I'm not saying that. But the procedure itself shifts the burden. I have to prove that I am a citizen. How do I prove that? I can only say my Aadhaar card is here, I was born here, this is accepted. Now, if you say that, look, I'm not a citizen, follow that process. They don't follow that. Now, see, that's why I showed you.
Look at Form 6.
Sorry?
Look at Form 6.
Yes.
Form
looking.
6 is a form which a person aspiring to become
Yes.
a voter
Yes.
can fill in and deposit with the election commission or the appropriate
Correct.
authority for inclusion.
Correct.
Does it mean that the election commission has to accept the entries
No.
as sacrosanct?
No, not at all. Now just see.
So there is this residual jurisdiction
Correct.
always
Correct.
to go into a preliminary inquiry with
Absolutely.
regard to credibility.
That's Form 7 now.
Now, the Form 7 is different. It's an objection by someone else.
Yes, that's all.
Now, we are not on objections. A inherent power in the Election Commission to accept
No.
the correctness of entries in Form 6.
I'm sorry, Malaj.
Or a complementary power
no.
to
Let-
go into the correctness
There are
of the statement.
There are two ways to look at that. I appreciate what my lord. There are two ways to look at that. Either the electoral officer, that is the BLO, has some evidence with himself saying that he believes that he is not a citizen. Whether it's a third person or the BLO himself, he must have something.
When an election commission chooses, what you are portraying, Mr. Sibal, is that the election commission is an inert post office, where a Form 6 application must inherently be accepted and included as a voter.
Prima facie, it must be accepted unless he has some evidence in his possession, which I'm not saying no, Malaj. I'm not saying he doesn't have the power.
Why we are putting this question to you is, if there is this power
Yeah.
of the election commission, at the first point, that is 23(1), when
Yeah.
the first list is being made,
Right,
and the applications coming in at Form 6,
right.
then will it not be very incongruous to say that once there is a list, although we take into consideration that our judgment with regard to someone already in the electoral roll, having a presumption of
Yeah,
correctness with regard to a citizenship,
Yeah.
that apart,
Yeah.
there will always be this jurisdiction inherent in a
Correct.
constitutional body
Correct.
to examine, verify, vet
All right.
documents which are placed before it or consider it.
I'll have
In doing that, if it asks that you put in an application akin to Form 6, in the special intensive revision, in order to vet the entries, and mind you, entries not made in 2002 electoral roll.
Correct.
It would be perhaps another species of your
correct.
argument. why
After 2002, Malaj, that's the
Why
first time he's becoming a voter.
ask them to answer.
First time he's becoming a
We'll
voter.
ask
My
them
lord
to
is
answer
right.
that.
My lord is
Then
right.
why not 2019? Why not
yes,
2015? Why 2000?
That's correct.
They will
But
not.
I agree, Malaj. What my lord is saying, I agree. In other words, when he is to become a voter first, I don't say he doesn't have the jurisdiction. I'm saying he must have some element
That's
of.
what we felt.
No, he must have some element of proof. I'm sorry, Malaj. He must have some evidence to say. Otherwise, he'll ask every elector, how do you tell me I'm a citizen? Show me how I'm a citizen. Malaj, there are two issues here. One, if somebody objects, Malaj, Form 7 comes.
Form 7 is not the inherent power of ECI.
Correct.
I think ECI power will be traceable to 21 of the Act or something.
Seven
If
is
there
already
is,
in the hands of
an
the labor.
entry,
No, I am, Malaj,
then under section 20 or 21 of the Act, they have to give a notice under the rules
yes,
for hearing,
right.
for
Yes,
deletion.
yes. Therefore, Malaj, if somebody else
Rule
objects,
16.
if somebody else objects, one
Rule
second, hold on.
20.
If somebody else objects, Malaj, there is a whole process.
That is
Correct. And
That you please avail the remedy of appeal. And if you file an appeal, we also directly the appellate authority to decide by so and so time.
Malaj, there are millions of people who don't have the wherewithal to file appeals.
Simple. Can we
That's why
can we paralyze any
No, but
constitutional
this is
or
the paralysis
statutory
of the entire
proceeding by
election.
saying that
Is the-
people, because on facts, you see, the facts have demonstrated completely what you are arguing.
it's the exercise of power that we are dealing with, Malaj. I'm not talking about.
Ultimately, let us take Bihar as one of the pilot project or illustrative basis. Initially, projection before us was that crores of people are being deprived of. We were also very apprehensive. That's why we continue to issue directions from one after the other. We know that because of some of the directions were quite effective and those really helped a lot. But eventually, what happened? The dead were not disputed. Those who were migrated were not disputed. 22 lakh something, 8 lakh something. And finally, hardly 3 lakh
There are
57.
thousands who have disputed. Now, what can I say to your lordships? Let's leave this out, Malaj. I didn't want to go into all that. Really,
Well, data and graphs were presented on from your side. In fact, if I recollect, Mr. Yadav presented charts
yes.
which showed in 2014-15 the population and the electoral roll was over 100%.
Yes, true.
So does it
So
not
therefore, Malaz,
require a responsible ECI to go into a special
Malaz,
intensive revision?
I think we are on two different Malaz, quite
Now,
frankly.
in this situation, if the ECI undertakes an aggressive intensive revision, where the deletions, again, from the same chart, appears to be to a large extent. There were some deletions, but these deletions has not resulted in any response from the individual elector concerned. We don't find that degree of impact on the ground level. You are saying that is because maybe of ignorance or lack of wherewithal, etc. We've continuously sought to flag those exercises by weaponizing district legal services authorities, other authorities, requesting repeatedly the political parties to actively participate in this process.
Many
so
voters
that
on
they
the
are
polling day have
vigilant-
gone and found their names
vigilant
not
soldiers with
deleted.
respect to us.
Where do we go after that? Which elector will then say, I'll file an appeal?
we direct-
But anyway, Malaz, I'm moving away. Let's not move away from the constitutional issue that I wish to raise, Malaz. All I'm saying is that if the BLO suspects anything, Malaz, I have the Aadhaar card. If he has any evidence, he has to put it to me. That what is that evidence with him to show that I was not born on such and such day? Because it is he who suspects me. It is he who suspects me that I was not born, but he must have something in his mind to suspect.
Well, Aadhaar card is creation of a statute.
Yes.
To the extent that statute acknowledge the benefits or the right or the privilege based upon an Aadhaar card, nobody can dispute that. After all, Aadhaar card is prepared and issued for a particular object under a particular statute.
Correct.
There can't be any dispute there.
That's right.
But only because for the purpose of benefit, availing the benefit of certain social welfare schemes, a person has got an Aadhaar card. Let us be very
Yeah,
practical.
no, fine. I appreciate what my lord is.
Let us take it like this,
Yeah.
that there are persons, suppose they include from a different country, from neighboring countries, they come to India. When they are working in India, they are staying in India, somebody is working, poor fellow, as a rickshaw puller, somebody working as a laborer on a construction site. If you issue an Aadhaar card to him, so that you avail the benefit of a subsidized ration for the children or for any benefit, that's something a part of our constitutional ethos. That is our constitutional morality that we must provide. But it doesn't mean that because he has been given this benefit, he must now be made a voter also.
True. Malaz, I don't dispute that.
That is what exactly we are saying. If there are instances where a person is a bona fide resident, a citizen of India, if he has been excluded, we have been eagerly, desperately looking for those instances so that we could rectify their procedural error.
But if he goes on the voting day and he finds that he's not, what will he do after that?
On that day, if we find, yes, we understand that part, but
What do we do? But anyway, Malaz, what my lord is saying is right. But that may be true of some border state. It can't be true of Kerala. It can't be true of Bihar.
you see, sometimes we should give full credit to media also for one thing, that for Bihar SIR, every day there were media reports. So, if any person sitting in the remotest area were aware that something is happening, some voter list is being prepared, new voter list is coming out, objections are being invited. In that entire process, can somebody say that I was completely aloof, I am not aware what has happened?
I'm not saying that. I think that it is not my case that the Election Commission has no power. I am only on the processes, Malaz. First, I said that the process should be inclusive. That's my first point. Any attempt to shift the burden to the elector to do something to prove a fact is inconsistent with our constitutional culture right from the beginning, before independence. Right? This is, your lordship said, certainly if there are more than 100% voters, you have nowadays softwares which can exclude all that. You don't have to do all this. If there are duplicate voters, you can have a software that excludes duplicate voters. You don't have to do all this. You don't have to give the power like this to people. Because ultimately, BLOs are who? They are teachers. They are teachers, Malaz, they are recruited.
Mr. Sibal, software is also, we see, again we have to see the hub of the voters. The hub of the voters is rural areas. Do you think that software will work there to identify?
No, from the voters list.
very
Not of
close to
that.
ground realities also.
You voter, I'm talking of the voters list, Mullah, not only the software. If there are duplicates, the software will show that there are duplicates.
Duplicates, yes, but not dead persons.
I'm not on dead person, Mullah. That
Duplication,
somebody,
yes, we
Mullah,
follow.
in a Mullah, I have conducted elections, I've lost and I have won. But Mullah, what happens when there is a dead person?
You are fortunate
My-
to get us from our urban area.
That's true. Now, Mullah, what happens in my street? If in a particular street, I'll have my worker, the other party will have their worker. They will both know who is dead.
And they've divided
Right.
50-50.
They
You
will
are
both know
absolutely
who
right.
is dead, Mullah.
Mr.
So they
Sibal.
will object.
You are
Mr.
absolutely
Sibal,
right.
it is our person, it is our experience
The
also.
political workers, they know very well that who is dead and who is alive, and if he is alive, where he has gone,
Correct.
they know everything.
Therefore, that information will be given
It
to
all,
the BLO.
Mr. Sibal, it all depends on the political gradient. The one political party which is stronger
Yes.
takes all the dead voters and they are voted in their
And you
favor.
are telling me the reality, which I
Then
already
that
know,
is,
Mullah.
we don't judge in vacuum.
That's right.
That's
That's
the
exactly
reality.
the point, Mullah.
That is why the dead voters need to be weeded out.
Correct. Correct. Absolutely right. And that process,
Otherwise, it is not party A or party B.
correct.
It is which is the power gradient.
Correct. Correct.
If the power gradient is for party A, all the dead voters vote for party
Yes,
A.
that
Correct.
game is like.
And if the power gradient is for party B, Mullah,
Yes,
then
the
all
party
in
B
that
gets all the
street,
voters.
those who are against party B will not also go and vote. That also happens. That also happens, Mullah. Some are not allowed to vote, but we are on law. We are not on what's happening on the ground.